guys, it's good to be back, and of course, I'm coming at you with Battlefield 4 Beta. I'm just going to give my thoughts on the game as far as what I've noticed with it, as well as a bit of a discussion of the Recon class and what I like with it as well. So, here we go. The current game type I'm playing is Domination, which is like a smaller scale version of Conquest with one little difference. You can't spawn on the flags you capture. You either spawn on your chosen squad mates or you deploy at a random location on the map. The only map available to play in the beta currently, to the date of this video, is Siege of Shanghai, which is obviously the map that I'm playing right now. The first thing I noticed with Battlefield 4 is how smoothly the lean and shoot mechanics work. And it's nothing overly complicated either. You just run up to your wall, get next to the corner, and when you're ready to lean out, you just click and hold the zoom button and your character will lean out automatically. This is beneficial in most cases, but if you're a recon with a high zoom scope, it can be very difficult to pull off your shots at closer ranges, and you don't get a very good field of view if you're trying to aim at somebody close up to do a quick shot around that corner, so just keep that in mind. The other thing I noticed with Battlefield 4 is the prone seems to work more in your favor in this game. I know in Battlefield 3 when you prone, sometimes your feet would stick out of walls if you got really close to the corners. People would see this and just shoot at them if they were exposed, ultimately killing you and making you a really angry person because of it. Battlefield 4 does its best to deter this, which is absolutely great. Battlefield 4 also has a bit more of a sense for the players to dictate warfare engagements. What I mean by this is certain buildings and areas have certain things you can activate that may work in your favor, like going inside elevators and going to the top floor of a building so you can snipe, or activating emergency store shutters to keep the enemies outside for a little bit while you plan your next course of attack. Having these interactive objects is a great step up for the Battlefield series. I'm going to switch it up a bit and discuss some of the things I noticed about how the Recon functions. First off, for those of you who don't know, the Recon is essentially the lookout or eyes for the team. In Battlefield 4, the Recon class does have a bit more stressed on its spotting abilities with different gadgets available to them, like the PLD for thermal night vision to see through fogged areas, and motion mines for radar tracking of enemy movements in near proximity of the mine. The Recon class has 4 types of primary weapons available to them during loadout: sniper rifles and designated marksman rifles for medium to long range engagements, as well as carbines and shotguns for the Recon who has engagements in medium to close range combat. The Recon class also has C4 now, which doesn't make you completely helpless against vehicles. Not to mention, if you get into a hairy situation, you can always use C4 as a booby trap for enemies chasing you, let's say around a corner, or you could just create an alternative escape route. The current weapon I'm using in this video is the M48-5 sniper rifle, which is unlocked after a few good rounds of playing the Recon class in the Battlefield 4 beta. The sidearm that I'm currently using in the video right now is the M9 with the tactical light. Another thing you'll notice in the beta is you will have more customization features with your sidearms as well, like being able to add a new iron sight, tactical light, or even a suppressor, which is a nice welcome in the progression of the Battlefield series. One thing I will say is sniping in Battlefield 4 has a bit of a learning curve, but it is for the better because of the mix of game mechanics throughout the series. The way the mechanics work for the sniper rifle, in my opinion, feels like a mix between Battlefield 3's deviation and muzzle rise physics, with the mechanical functions of bullet drop and projectile acceleration being similar to the Bad Company series of Battlefield games. In comparison to Battlefield 3 sniping mechanics, the bullet's acceleration and drop did seem to move at a slower pace even after firing. In Battlefield 4, firing a sniper rifle seems to accelerate at a faster pace with little adjustments being needed to make reasonably longer shots. A nice change for Battlefield 4 in comparison to Battlefield 3 is instead of having an extremely shimmering bullet whizzing by your enemy's face, there is less of a sheen on your bullet when fired in Battlefield 4. But to make up for that, your shots do leave vapor trails. Fortunately, the vapor trails only last for maybe a little over a second, but if an enemy doesn't notice it in time, it's really hard to tell where you're sniping from after maybe the first shot. At closer to medium ranges, the sniper does function as a point-and-shoot weapon without having to adjust for anything. So you can aim at an enemy, fire a shot, and expect it to hit where you're aiming at. One way a sniper can adjust for a long-range shot in Battlefield 4 is to use the mil dots or markers on the scope and aim above or ahead of your target accordingly. But to alleviate the adjustment process, Battlefield 4 has incorporated a feature where you can adjust your long-distance shot without having to aim higher up. The default key is V to change the adjusted range of the shot, and what this does is it takes into consideration of the bullet drop depending on how many meters out your target is. The other device you get right off the bat as Recon in Battlefield 4 is the PLD, which stands for Portable Laser Designator. Essentially, this device's main function is to assist in laser targeting enemy vehicles for your teammates, specifically engineers with rockets. While you maintain visual lock-on with the PLD, it acts as a homing guidance system for any rockets your engineer shoots towards the vehicle, resulting more times than not as a direct hit with hardly any need to aim. The PLD's main purpose is for laser targeting, but it does have a very beneficial alternative purpose in the game. The PLD can also be used for as sort of a thermal binoculars to spot enemies more easily. It's great to know this because it will assist in spotting enemies way easier because of how massive the maps can be on Battlefield 4. The neat thing about this is it also gives you a tactical advantage when surveying the map. It's good to know this because it also helps reduce the learning curve of the map and all its locations of where people like to go or hide. In Battlefield 4 Open Beta, the overall physics and mechanics did seem to be more finely tuned in comparison to the Battlefield 3 Beta, which is a welcoming result. Even right down to the level of variety of sound effects, differentiating from gunshots to the background ambiance sound clearer and not as glitchy or mistimed like in Battlefield 3. The level design for Siege of Shanghai is really well thought out for Domination. There's a great balance between solid and destructible cover, promoting close to medium range combat, along with nice, clear vantage points for medium to long range sniper standoffs. The main area you are fighting in is the arcade alleys in Shanghai. The nice part about this is even for such a smaller scale environment, you're not just stuck at ground level. You can go to the mid-level of the arcade building or on the roof through the use of elevators or ladders on the side of the building. The great part about this is no matter what level you're on, you're still not closed off from the fight. You seem to have more of a different tactical approach rather than being closed off or having the higher ground advantage. Even though the Battlefield 4 beta was great overall, there are still a few annoyances. On the start of the round, be ready because within a few moments a firefight can occur with very little time to adjust. This is due to both the teams being spawned in so close to one another during the onset of the round. Also, if you decide to select to spawn at a random location, it can spawn you right in the middle of a firefight and it can happen consecutively, increasing your KD ratio unfavorably. And the reason why I'm mentioning this is because in Domination mode, you can't select a team spawn point. You only have the choice of a random spawn or spawning on your squad mates. Fortunately, spawning on your squad mates is a little less risky of an option because in the loadout menu, you have a preview camera in the bottom left-hand corner of the chosen squad mate, showing you whether or not it's a good idea to spawn on him or not. Okay, that's all I pretty much have to say about this video right now, but I'm going to change it up a little bit. I know a lot of you that followed me from Battlefield Play for Free have been used to me going through and giving random shoutouts and posting up your guys' comments and stuff and responding to them, so I'm doing it a little bit differently because I am a firm believer in saving the best for last, and realistically, this channel would not be possible without you guys, so I want to credit you guys by at least giving, answers to some of your comments when I can in each video. So I hope you guys like a little bit of the change up, and here we go. The first comment actually comes from Superman 91372 or 91372 or 91,372, however the numbers go for him. He actually stated, buy Battlefield 4. And I sure am buying Battlefield 4, so that way I can continue the commentary stuff, so you don't have to worry about that, Superman. Now, this next comment actually comes from one of my followers on Facebook, and they stated, Shad, you need to get back on Battlefield, man. You were like the person who made me play this game, dude. Your friend Nightmare. Well, Nightmare, I would like to say that I am back, and I am very flattered and honored to know that I was the reason to help you further progress and play Battlefield and to get interested in this game. I mean, this game is really awesome, and you should enjoy it just as much as I do. Okay guys, that is all I have for this video now with those comments out of the way. I thank you guys very much for being very supportive throughout all this time, and I am going to try my best to produce more videos for you guys to watch, enjoy, and to learn from. So I'll see you guys around, and until next video.